hello, and welcome to Witchy Shit and Manga Lit. And I am excited to find out what we're talking about today. What is it, Carson? I'm super excited. I'm like, what is it? I'm cheesing while I eat cheese.
Okay. Okay, so we are going to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
adult friendships.
Oh my god! Oh my, oh my god! Oh my, I've got a lot to say.
I know you do, which is why I decided to go with this. Because, like, I was thinking about it today, and, like, there's just a lot going on with that, and I wanted to talk about it, so I thought we could talk about that, and
Yeah.
we can, also obviously talk about the stuff we've been reading, watching, listening to, and there's some relevant things that I have read recently that I wanna talk about, which I find interesting, specifically around queer culture in Japan. And yeah, so we're gonna be a little bit loosey-goosey about it today, but I think we'll
Lucy
figure it out.
goosey.
We always figure it out.
Mm-hmm. We do. We do. We do. We do. We do. Okay, so what have you been watching and listening to and enjoying this week?
So, we started season 2 of Spy Family, which has been amazing. I love that show so much. And season 2 is as exciting as season 1. There's actually kind of a plot to it, which is interesting. There's, like, been 3 episodes about the same thing. I was like, "This is interesting and new. They haven't done this before."
Ooh.
Um, and one of the things I read I've been reading a lot of manga this week when I haven't been drawing, which is few and far between. But one of the things, I read was a autobiographical comic called Why I Adopted My Husband.
That's a cute
And
title.
yeah, so in Japan, there is no legal way to get married as a queer person. So one of the things that they do, there are 2 ways that they kind of get around the fact that they can't get married. One is with a contract where you basically state in the contract, "This is my person, and I want them to inherit my things, and I want them to be able to come into the hospital with me." And the second way
Mhm.
is to literally legally adopt the person under yourself. As in
Wow.
they renounce their family name and take on your family name. And, basically, they basically decide who the older partner is, and the older partner becomes the dad or the mom, depending on what the queer
Wow.
arrangement is, and the
That's
younger one becomes the
intense.
son or the daughter. Yeah, yeah, so, like, it in essence, there's kind of it depends on how they wanna do it. Like, the couple in the story, it was autobiographical, so it was, like, how they had decided to live their lives, and they were in their 40s in Japan and decided that, like, one of them ended up in the hospital one time, and they were like, "We were really glad that we had gone through the adoption process because I wouldn't have been able to take care of him if that had not happened." But talking about explaining it to the family and being like, "Yeah, so, like, we've been living together for a long time and just figured it would be easier if we, did it this way, but, like, if we wanna have families or something, we can still do that later. It's okay." Like, trying not to out themselves to their family to be able to do this because there's, like,
Oh my
multiple
god.
options. Yeah, it was really interesting, but also, like, kind of heartbreaking that that's their only option to, like,
Mhm.
legally become family is to literally adopt each other,
Yeah.
like but apparently it's a common enough practice that, like, even in the book, he wrote out the process you have to go to and, like, explained the form for anyone
Oh,
interested, so
that's
it was
so
like
good.
yeah, it was, like, educational for the people, be like, "Here's where you fill out your name, your family name, and, you have your witnesses. You can have family members be witnesses, or you can just have friends show up to be witnesses that this is what you're doing. And, um, they're like, "It's probably better to talk to your family about it because otherwise," they're like, "Holy shit, our son isn't on our registry anymore." Because they have family
Mm-hmm.
registries, like, that's a big thing in Japan, who's on the family registry, and so, like, taking someone off the family registry to be on someone else's family registry is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it to me it feels fucked up to have to go to that extent of
Mhm.
I'm leaving my family. Like
Yeah.
they're really leaving their family. Like,
Well, at the same time, that is what happens in marriage. Usually, it's the wife that leaves their family registry to join the husband's family, unless the wife is, like, affluent, and then the husband leaves the family registry to join the wife's family if the wife has more power. So, that's just a
mm,
common thing that if you are partnered with someone in Japan, you leave your old family completely.
okay.
It's
Okay,
just
but still to have to do it as an adoption?
Yeah, and that's what's kinda weird because, like, literally in the hospital, he had to be like, "Yes, that's my son. I have to take care of him." And they're like, "Um, you don't look like you have a son this age." And he's like, "Yeah, we're only, like, 3 years apart, but it's fine." Literally. Uh, so it's a little weird, but, like, apparently it's common enough that, they explained how you go about doing it if you, want to be married, essentially, and you can even have a ceremony with cake and stuff and invite your friends
Yeah.
over the adoption. So,
Wow.
yeah, I didn't know if that was common knowledge. I had known about it from reading the just volume of BLs that I read, but, like, I hadn't seen
Mhm.
it explained in detail before, so, like, reading that one was really good to see it explained in detail.
And what was it called again? The Why I Adopted My Husband?
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah, so it was
Cool.
kind of just an
Where'd you read it
explanation on
at?
that. I bought the book, so it's not on any of the book sites, but you can probably find it, um, possibly at thrift books. I don't know, I have the digital copy, so,
Okay. I'll look and see if it's on Barnes& and Nobles
yeah, it might be
or it's on that BN.
on that BN.
I can get it on my Nook,
Yeah,
which is
those
how
are
I've been
good.
reading Hirano and Kagiura.
Yeah,
Mhm. I'm caught up. I'm waiting for that next book.
I know. But, like, book 4, I feel like it ended in a cliffhanger. I was like,
It did end
"Y'all,
in the cliffhanger.
y'all." He confessed, like, 2 books ago. Y'all are pulling this slow burn shit again.
Yes. Well, yeah. What did Sasaki confess in the second book or the third book? It was early on.
Yeah, he confessed, I think, in the 3rd or 4th book, and then, like, by book 6, they were finally together. It was, like, 3 books
Mhm.
later. I'm like, "They're gonna do the same thing with this one."
Mhm.
We're gonna
Which
wait
is
3 to 4 books
I'm here for it. I'm here
before
for it.
Hinano finally
I'm
gives in to Kaki-kun.
Hirano's already having a thought. He's like, da 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 da. And it's like, wait, why did I think that?
Yeah, like, would I really take care
He's
of
he's
any
already
junior this
starting.
much? Because I definitely wouldn't do that for
Mhm.
Miyano. Thinking of his other junior. Like, no, that kid can deal with it himself.
Mhm. Mhm. So yeah. Let's see. What did I take in this week? I've been reading lots of heaven officials' blessings. I got it.
Yeah, you got it, you got it.
Um, I've been watching a lot of content around it. There's this person on YouTube called Kiktor
Okay.
who who does readings of the books and does reactions to the episodes. So not only have I been watching and reading, I've been watching and reading along with this person on YouTube. Um, I also got to the next episode of something about my boss, the cool and his cool female employee, the Ice King, the Ice something and his cool female employee,
Yeah.
Artist Noah. That one's cute. I started watching Sign of Affection.
Oh, that one looks cute. Is it?
Hmm. Oh God, it had me squealing. It had me squealing. It had me squealing. The character design is good. It's got a good story so far. The lead guy has white hair and blue eyes, so you know I'm digging it. Like I have, I have.
You and your white-haired protag-coon. Oh my god. I mean, I can't really talk because any character with black hair and red eyes, I'm like, I'm done.
Rawr.
I'm done.
So I started watching that, and started reading a line comic because someone who I'm having a flirtation with right now was like, "You should read Big Ethel Energy." I recommend it, and so I'm watching Big Ethel Energy. I'm reading Big Ethel Energy, and it's on Webtoons,
That sounds
and
familiar.
it is in the Archie universe,
Oh, okay.
and I'm
That
really
makes sense.
liking it. I'm liking the art. I'm liking the story. They're dealing with things like sizeism and ableism. And one of the characters realized, oh, this health stuff is rooted in ableism. And there's several different romances going on. Our main character has some relationship issues to work through and is working through them. And it's kind of like cathartic watching her work through shit because she's really in the situation that's like, I like this person, but of course they're not gonna like me. And she doesn't see how many people have liked her in the past because she got dumped by her crush. So her heart's been a little bit like, nobody likes me or nobody I like likes me, and so I'm just going to keep to myself. And she's oblivious to all these signals that people have been throwing at her about liking her. Um, and then gets a little bit insecure when someone does like her and she thinks that she likes him. Anyway, there's a himbo in it. Um, quality himbo, quality himbo in Moose. Ah, he's
I
adorable.
love Moose. Moose is like he may have been the first himbo I ever experienced because I used to read Archie comics like religiously when I was a child.
Mhm.
And Moose has always been there and Moose has always been just big and stupid and I love him. But like genuine like all heart and
Yes.
that's what you want in a himbo. You want him to be strong and full of friendliness, like a
Mhm.
big golden retriever type.
He is this and he is this. He's this and he's perfectly this. So I've been enjoying that, and I've still been kind of reeling from JJK being like, do I watch it again? Do I have the energy to watch it again? Can my soul handle it? I'm gonna watch it again. But yeah, and aside from that, I haven't been reading or watching as much as I like to because I've been staying up late at night talking to this person I'm crushing on.
And that's also fun.
Yeah,
So, don't worry about it.
yeah. So, yeah. And I'm flirting. I'm actually flirting. Like, I'm flirting in ways I haven't flirted before because my flirt used to be like, are you attracted to me and are we going to do this? Like, that used to be me flirting. That's me flirting. I like fisting. Do you like fisting? Like, that was my,
Wow. Just getting right to the meat of the
right,
problem.
right
Are
there.
are we going to fist?
But no, I'm actually like flirting. We were having word banter, and the more we have word banter, I'm like, oh my god, you can talk. Like you can talk. Like they can talk. Like I just oh, and the word yes, so we're flirting. Not even like sexting. We're just texting. And it's just so fucking wholesome. Like I haven't, you know how I am with wholesome shit. I'm
Mhm.
always like tie me up, pin my hair back, like spit on me, like shit like that. But like, like
Honestly, you need the
this
wholesome right
is
now.
I need the wholesome.
I think you need this. Okay, okay. No, 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 no. But what did you manifest last time? What did you manifest last time?
I don't.
Who did you manifest for? What
Hua
was your
Chung.
vision board? Hua Chung and Sasaki. Okay? You want someone devoted to you who's gonna give you the energy you need, and right now you need that wholesome. So
I need wholesome. It's so fucking wholesome. It's as wholesome as a fucking K drama. Let me let you know. Like it is kick my feet, blushing, my face hurts. I'm so attracted to this person. They're so interesting to me. Um and yeah, so I'm crushing right now. I'm crushing. And we're having a meet up over online on tomorrow.
ooh,
So yeah, we're gonna see each other face to face in real time,
you're
and
gonna have a Zoom
so
date.
we have a Zoom date. Yes.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
You'll have to let me know how that goes.
I will. Oh, trust. I will.
I'm like, better be texted afterwards.
Yes. You will. You will be texted afterwards. Even though we're gonna see each other on Monday, I won't be able to hold this in. I won't be able
No,
to. So yeah.
absolutely
So
not.
that's what. And then we both watched more Utena.
Yeah, this new arc, I'm already
He
too
just fucking
invested
everybody.
and too upset about it.
Yeah. I'm like,
Because
he's
I
just like
also
turning everybody out.
like, there's I'm 100% that Akio is the reason why Toga is as slutty as he is,
Hmm.
because he was groomed. He was groomed, and then he started grooming others because of being
Yep.
groomed.
Yep.
That's so fucked.
Yep.
Huh. Yeah. Who?
I'm like, I don't even know how to talk about the last episodes we watched, aside from like I love um I love Utana's and Auntie's relationship.
Yeah. The fact that they hold hands before bed every night, when
Yep.
Anshi's not there, Utena misses her. Um,
Hmm.
the fact that they've started pulling the sword out of Utena instead?
Yes, she's fighting with her own will,
Yes.
like her own
And
spirit, and Auntie has to pull it out of her.
I feel like Anshi got her own agency that first
She
fight
did.
because
She
she was
did.
like, "Oh, hell no, I'm not watching her go down like this. Come here, bitch. I'm gonna take the sword from
And
you."
Akio got mad about that. He's big
Yeah.
mad.
Oh,
But he's like,
absolutely.
now we gotta take this bitch out. Now we gotta take Lieutenant out because Auntie is starting to like operate on her own desires. First she's having desires and now she's operating on it. We have to take this bitch out.
Like, she was still following his orders for the most part. Like, the fact that she almost became Mickey's mom, what the fuck was that about? That took me right the hell out. I was like, "What is
Mhm.
happening?
Mhm.
What I thought you were the Rose Bride. How are you gonna marry Mickey's dad? What the fuck?"
Yeah, they still haven't explained that.
No, 0 explanations. 0. I'm so confused.
They're probably gonna tell us more later.
I hope so.
Yeah, because
I'm
that
not
was
gonna
wild.
not gonna leave this all like super. I mean, they probably could leave it super out in the weeds and it would be fine. Oh, so this other stories that I've been reading, uh, like has this wild twist to it now.
Mm,
And I was like, "Holy shit, they left me on a cliffhanger," and then the next book's not out for a while, and I'm kinda pissed about it.
what is
Uh,
it?
the the story is called Lullaby of the Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about, like, this island where these horrible monsters come out of the sea, and these, people are assigned to fight the monsters. They're called Kanagi, and
Mm-hmm.
by fighting the monsters, it, like, keeps their bodies from aging by
Mm,
having these additional God-given powers, essentially. But, like,
mm-hmm.
one of them, this young boy decides he's going to, like, basically attend the Kanagi, and as he does, like so the Kanagi, as they fight the monsters coming out of the ocean, like, their limbs, like, take on the um, like, almost the black tar of these creatures, so they start
Mm-hmm.
like, their limbs start turning colors, and him having this guy be his attendant, started turning his skin his normal color again,
Mm-hmm.
and he found that, like so this guy was his, like, savior in essence, because once their body is fully taken over by the taint of the ocean, they die, and then a
Mm.
new one is born and has to fight in their stead,
Oh.
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy that, like, they're saving the island from the ocean, but they continuously die for it. And we're 3 books in, and in this last book, we find out that people outside of the island are in modern times. The island's living in, like, fucking Victorian England,
Wow.
um, with, like, nothing going on, and this scientist from outside has, like, a fucking cell phone, and you're like, "Holy shit, where did this come from?" And everybody
What in the M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah, no, it was totally like The Village, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're trying to figure out how, the guy who was the attendant, like" they're like, "We think he's, like, half off islander, but that's why he's not affected by the sea, because anybody not of the island can go out into the ocean no problem without any issue, but anyone from the island, if they go out into the ocean, they're attacked by these creatures and drowned, like, immediately."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the only people that can fight them are the Kanagi to keep the monsters at bay so that the rest of the island is safe. But, like, it's wild. It's absolutely wild that they, like, went this direction. Oh, it's a BL too. Just in case you thought this was, like, off brand for me, no, it's still on brand. It's just it has, like, a very intricate plot as well, and,
Mhm.
like, so they ended with this twist where, like, these off islanders had, like, cell phones and, like, the attendant is helping a second Kanagi who is about to die get better from the taint, and his Kanagi is jealous because he's having to spend time with the other Kanagi.
Jealousy.
It's cute though. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, that story is really good. I like it a lot. But I'm mad that the next book's not out yet. They
When
keep
is it
ending these
coming
books
out?
in I don't know, probably in a month or so.
Mm.
I have no patience.
Mm.
I just need to read stories that are fully out. That's what I've decided. Because I read another book, like, the other day, and it was, like, super cute, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and I was like, "God damn it." Every single fucking time. Exhausted.
Mhm. Let's see. I'm back to writing Avatar: The Last Airbender fan fiction.
As you should be.
Um, yes, I'm loving and I've been listening to the original soundtrack for Samurai Champloo,
Oh,
which
yeah, that became available again, didn't it? I
mhm,
love that soundtrack so much. It's so good.
mhm. So I've been listening to that and music spawned off of that. And it's been really good. It's got me off of Jungkook's dick for a little bit.
Just for a brief pause.
Just for a brief second. Just for a brief second. Um, but yeah, that's been me. I feel like I haven't consumed as much media as I would have liked to, but I'm able to focus in on it while I'm watching it, which has been really good. Watching it or reading it or listening to it, I've been able to appreciate it more than I have in the recent past. So it feels like look at all this like you lost your sense of taste and all of a sudden it comes back and you're like, "Oh, the flavors. The flavors, darling." So,
Honestly,
mhm.
I feel like that means you may so when things lose their flavor and then I get it back, I realize that I'm off a depressive episode
Mm,
because depression takes away all the flavor, and then, like,
it
when you get
does.
back to something, you're like, "Oh, shit, emotions. I forgot what that was."
Yep, yep. I'm feeling
Yeah.
emotions.
So a lot of people are like, "Oh, depression means, like, you're sad all the time." Like, no. For
Mhm.
me, it means, like, I go numb for, like, months at a time. I'm just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I exist. That's fine."
I've been
And then,
numb
like
for a while.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have happy moments. Like, I don't feel the numbness when I hang out with you, and I don't feel numbness around Bertha. But, like, definitely when I'm left to my own devices for the most
Mhm.
part, I'm like, long sigh. Not necessarily sad, but definitely long sigh. And yeah, I don't feel that way right now. It could also be, I ain't gonna lie, it could also be that I'm flirting with somebody.
I'm like, that's definitely something that'll pull you out of a funk.
Yeah.
100%. You've got that endorphin rush of
Mhm.
new
New
crush type of
relationship
thing.
energy. Mhm. I had a nightmare last night though. Like things are going so well that sometimes when things go well, I have a nightmare. And last night I had a nightmare, and not to yuck anyone's yum, but in my nightmare, I was like entrenched in a deep relationship with this really rich cishet white dude. And I was like, and my friends were like, "What? This is not
What are you
you.
doing? Yeah.
What are you what
What
are
are you
you
doing?
what are you
It
doing and
uh,
why?"
unless it was Gojo, I don't wanna hear any excuses.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, the drool that almost came out of my mouth. Oh,
'Cause, I mean,
oh my
technically
god.
he he is a cishet rich man, so well, he's not het, so I guess that does
Oh, yeah.
I would assume.
He
But he
ticks
is
one
cis, and
box.
he is rich.
Mhm. Mhm. But this motherfucker even looked a little bit like Andrew Tate. It was awful. Yeah.
Oh
No, I'm like,
god.
where did, yes. I'm like, what depths of hell did my brain pull this from?
I don't know, but I'm sorry. I apologize for your own brain to you.
Thank you. It was rude. It was real rude. I woke up feeling like I needed, like, it was so deep in the relationship in my dream that I woke up feeling the need to explain myself. Like, it was just that much. So I don't know where that dream came from or anything, but I, yeah, yeah, it was weird. It was weird. I was like, "Are you going to buy me some more hair?" And he's like, "Yes, of course I'm going to buy you more hair." And I'm like,
I mean, if that's your bar, I would have been
right?
like, "Where's my new car, baby?" You're just like, "Can you take care of my basic needs? Thank you."
Yep, that's how, that's how it was. That's how it was. But was he worth it? No. No. He was not. He was definitely not worth the explanations. That's when I like yesterday I was just telling Bertha, I'm like, I can't date anyone ever again that I have to explain. Like,
Ooh.
yeah, don't date someone you have to explain. I'd have to explain Gojo.
No, you wouldn't. Everyone would take one look at him and be like, "Okay, yeah.
All right, never mind.
Never mind, it's fine."
Never mind. It's good. Is that
You're
Armani?
like
Like,
yeah, you're like, when you said you were dating a tall, rich guy with blue eyes and white hair, I had a different idea in mind, but this is fine. This is this is
mhm,
A-okay."
mhm,
And he
mhm.
is a tall drink of water. Good job.
Oh, gulp, gulp, motherfucking gulp.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch. I'm definitely gonna watch Jujutsu Kaisen again. I am. I am. I'm gonna watch it. I'm still taking some time to heal. But there's so many scenes I want to
Yeah.
see again.
Same. Like, I realized that, like, I wasn't absorbing the fight scenes like I should have because I was too busy in my feelings about them. Especially,
Mhm.
like, once the Choso Yuji fight started, I was emotionally distraught for, like,
Mhm.
6 episodes because I knew what was coming, and I did not approve. Um, what's so funny to me, though, is that, like, so my massage therapist finally caught up too, and we were talking about it today, and he's in his feels about it, and
Mhm.
I got to tell him about Kinjasi, and I got to tell one of my other friends about Kinjasi as well. I just love spoiling that for people because it's a small thing, but it's the most mind-blowingest thing that they're like, "Wait, what?
Mhm.
He's Yuji's mom? How does that work?" I was like, "Yeah."
Mhm.
For some reason, it's the funniest thing for me. I'm like, "Okay, so you know how Choso's his brother? He's really his brother. Here's how."
Mhm.
It's funny. Oh, but yeah, no, trying to explain to him that, like, my obsession with Nanami started after I already knew he died. He was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah, like, it's not like I liked him a bunch and then found out he died. No, I liked him a bunch after I knew he was gonna die." Which is weird. That's weird of me, but you know what? It's fine. It's
Listen,
fine.
he is. That's a good man. That's
You don't have to tell
he's a
me.
good man.
You don't have to like, there is no explanation needed. Do you have eyeballs? Yes, then you know exactly why I like him.
Oh my god, this person that I'm gonna lay off it for a second. I'm gonna lay off it in a second. But this person that I'm talking to, I
Yeah.
mentioned that I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and they
Yeah.
sent me this adorable Yuji Itadori gif, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It was like, I'm like, "Wow, look at." I got so excited. I got so excited, especially since they're not watching JJK, and I'm like, "You look this up."
You're like, "Well, you're gonna be watching it because 'cause we're gonna watch it together now. One of us, one of us."
You are my special.
Yeah, it's
Dun,
like the
dun, dun,
the
dun.
the meme I sent you about, like, if you see if you see so, I heard you like that thing too. Yeah, I do. Vibrating through the floor. Yes, I like that a normal amount.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's good. So, what do you want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about, are you ready to talk about adult friendships or?
Yeah. Yeah, like, I was talking to my friend, online the other day, and she was mentioning, like, the friends that she had, and I mentioned all of the friends that I have, and she's like, "Wow, you have a lot of friends." And I was like and she specifically said, "You have a lot of friends for someone of your age. That's good." And I'm like, "Excuse me? 1, I am not elderly." Rude. But secondly, maybe I do? I don't know, because like, I was thinking about it, there's about 20 to 22 people that I talk to regularly, like, on a weekly or monthly basis.
That's a lot for our age. No,
So
it's not. It's not anything bad. It's a testament to who you are to be able to form these connections, and to be with people in such beautiful ways. But like for the most of us, I think, at our age, which is in our early 40s, we've begun the culling game. Or we've been in the
true.
culling game since our 30s. And so many people we lose so many people by the end of our Saturn return. And then we're like, fuck it for the next few years
Yeah.
afterwards. Like, ain't nobody getting this energy. So I think that it makes sense, for like that's a lot of people for your age, and it's beautiful. And now where I am, I'm trying to form those relationships too, because I've been hustling for so long that I haven't really given the time to intimate relationships that I feel like I could have. If anything, the pandemic allowed me to grow closer to people who I was close with before, like to get even
Mm-mm.
closer to them. So between that and becoming really, really sick, it really changed my way in which I interact with people and who I want to interact with. Like, as a performer, I interacted with a lot of people. Am I interacting with those people in the same way now? No, not at all. And there's reasons for that. But like there's you, there's Bertha Michelle, there's Ryan, there's this new person who's named Babe, who I'm just starting to get to know. Um, and it's been really good, but there's not that many people. There's not
Yeah,
that many
because
people for me.
as I was running it down, I was like, well, obviously there's you because we spend a lot of time together each week, and like my husband because I live with him, so obviously I'm spending time with him. I mean, I would hope that I'm spending time with him because we live together. And then there's Danny and Erica from high school who I've known for over 20 years, and we're still pretty tight, and we talk frequently in our group chat. And then there's Ron, who I've known since college, so like 2001-ish.
Mhm.
I'm like, God damn.
Mhm.
Our friendship can drink.
Mhm.
That is a long ass time. And then I just felt old for a second. And I'm like, and I still talk to Adam too, who was like Ron and Adam were my best friends in college for a while. Um,
I think I
I
had a
talked
crush on Adam.
No, you didn't know Adam. You had a crush on Ron.
No, I had a crush on Ron, but I had a crush on someone else too. Tall white boy with thick thighs. He used to come over and game.
I'm thinking Adam never you never met Adam. Adam
Ugh,
was
who
a
did
Carbondale
I
friend.
meet?
I'm thinking about it now.
But he might not seem relatively tall to you because you're tall and I'm short as shit.
It was like very few people seem tall to me.
He
uh
might have just been on your eye level or maybe like an inch or two
yeah.
above.
Like the only person I've ever met that I was like, "Damn, you're tall." It was my ex's best friend from high school, Andrew, who was like 6'5". I looked up to him because he was much
Literally.
taller than me. He's
I
a firefighter though, which is nice. Um, I'm trying to think of who you're talking about. Did we game often?
think I don't remember which game he was in, but yeah, we were doing tabletop games and he was there and I had a crush on him.
We've had
He used to
multiple
be
tabletop
heavy.
games. Oh, I know who you're talking about. I had no idea you had a crush on him.
I didn't tell
Really?
you? Oh
No.
shit.
He was a
Yeah.
very sweet person. He was a
Yes, that's
very
why I
sweet
had a crush on
person.
him.
I don't remember his name, but he used to work with my ex. They worked at the same place.
Yeah, I liked him a
That's how we
lot.
knew him.
I crushed on him before I crushed on Ron.
Interesting.
And then I crushed on Ron. I crushed on Ron hard.
I know we've gone over this.
And then he started whipping out them playlists and like them playlists he made, them CDs he
Mhm.
made. I was like, fuck.
Do you follow him on his, blog now? Because he makes playlists every week of his favorite things of the week.
No, I should follow him on his blog.
Yeah.
Now that I can look him in the face. His beautiful, beautiful face. His skin routine. Like his
Yeah, that's
skin.
true, that's true.
His skin.
Kinda jealous
Glows.
over it.
That shit glows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We
He
were
was so
talking
cute to
liquor
me.
last night, and he sent me a picture of his favored coffee liqueur. He's like, "I don't
Mm-hmm.
like Kahlua for White Russians, I like this other coffee stuff because it tastes like actual coffee." I was like, "Wow, okay. Hook me up because I like things that are coffee." And it took me a while. I'm like, "Wait, is this just coffee in a bot?" He's like, "No, it's coffee liqueur. What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "But why does it say vodka on the back?" He's like, "'Cause that's a recipe, dum dum." I'm like, "Okay." Like, he's, like, gently walking me through what a liqueur is because I forgot. Yeah, that was funny. My brain was not working on all cylinders last night, I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I was going through my list of friends of mine. So that's, like, 5 people right off the bat, and then I had Rosa,
Mm-hmm.
who I was talking to, Sarah, and Stephanie, who are all from that Mafia game, and then I've got, Alex and Paige from work and Amanda from work, and I hang out regularly with Alex and Ashley, who live here, um, and that's, like yeah, and then I've got a couple of people that I met with the art stuff, and then there's Zach
Mm-hmm.
and Rachel, who I hang out with on Thursdays. So I was just going through my list of people and she's like, "That's a lot of people." And I'm like, "I don't think it's that many people." And she's like, "Yeah, that's a lot of people." And I was like, "Oh, I guess that
You
is a lot
are
of people."
well loved. You are well and truly loved, friend.
I guess I don't see that. Like, to me, I'm just like, I don't know why anyone wants to hang out with me.
Oh my god, because you're amazing. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't see it. I'm
You know
just
what?
like,
We rarely see the painting that is us because we're in it. We're in it.
oh, I mean, I guess that's a good point.
Yeah. Cause on my end, I'm like, why would people want to hang out and talk with me
Because you're
so much that I
amazing.
like I hide away. Now I intentionally hide away because I'm like nobody wants to talk to me. And but the reason why some people don't want to talk to me is they think that I'm already talking to so many people. Yeah. I know that sounds weird, but there's people who are like, I've had a crush on you for such a long time. And I'm like, bitch, why didn't you tell me? And they're like, because I thought like either you wouldn't like me back because of who you are. And I'm like, who the fuck am I to you? Like,
Right?
with,
I get that though, because you put off this energy that's, like, very starlight. Like, you g and I'm gonna go back to this, but I think I've mentioned this before, but, like, going to con with you felt like going with a celebrity. Like, I was your, like, entourage bodyguard. I was like the Diddy to your I was the I I was the Diddy to your Big Papa, and, I was just in yeah, yeah, you know, I felt I enjoyed spending a lot of time with you, but, like, I felt like I don't know that I was taking up your time from other people who wanted like, I could feel them being jealous at me. Does that make sense?
oh my God. Yeah, that makes sense. But that makes sense in hindsight. But during it, I'm like, don't you leave me alone. Don't you leave, don't you leave me the fuck alone with these people. Like, don't you leave me alone. Where you going? Where you going? I'm going with you.
Yeah.
Like, don't you leave me. You're the one I want
I
to be around.
I just think it's funny that we would, like, cling to each other being like, I just wanna hang out with you and our little coven, nobody else," and then, like, everybody like, I could feel the stares of people wanting to hang out with you, and I don't know if if you had any of that for me, but, like, literally, it was like hanging out with a magnet of a person.
And meanwhile, I'm like, run
Awesome.
away. And then
Run
wondering why no
away.
one wants to talk to me. Run away. And no, nobody's talking to me.
I think
Run
it's because you
away.
had to guard, because people I don't know, maybe it's because you shine so bright, but people tend to try to siphon off of you. Like, I felt kinda like a guard dog sometimes, like, "Ruff, ruff, get the fuck back, bitch."
my my relationships now, I feel so much. I feel like I'm able to just my I've always when I have relation. You know what? I never had a lot of friends.
Really?
Even growing up. No, 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 no. Because I was a weird one. I was weird. I grew up in New Orleans where there was this idea of what blackness should be or like what was acceptable for blackness. And there was this whole thing around how my blackness presented and how my humanity presented that some people didn't quite understand or get. Like the first CD I bought was Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. Like that was my first CD.
Oh,
The
that
second
fucking
CD was
CD.
by Jewel. So
Okay, like, do you know who super duper loved Alanis?
who?
Danny. I remember
I love
driving around
this.
with him in the car, and he was playing Alanis and just belting it out along with it. So, like, I'd just go along with it and sing t
She's
we
very
were
beltable. I
we
fucking
were
love
so
her. I
embarrassing in
love
the car, it
her.
was fantastic.
I love
It was
her.
so fantastic.
And also I was a person in elementary school, middle school, and high school that people would come and tell their problems to,
Mhm,
because they wouldn't get any judgment. And also I was so weird to them that they felt like they could tell me things without me being freaked out or something like that.
hmm,
So I knew a bunch of people, like everyone knew me and who I was, but there was very few people with whom I felt I could have reciprocal energy with. Are there
mm,
people who I'm holding and uplifting right now? There's a fair few people who I'm holding and uplifting, but people who I have this, I feel like I can be super soft with or super silly or
like, vulnerable?
vulnerable, like really vulnerable with. Like I could
Mhm.
tell my story, that's not a problem. But for someone to see me how deeply I'm in love with Gojo,
You are, friend. You really are.
um, like that's I mean enough that they could tease me about it and I blush. Like that's a whole different level of friendship. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm often in a role of supporting people and not allowing myself to be supported, and it takes a really special person for me to feel like I can be supported by.
Mm.
Yeah. And part of that comes from the childhood trauma thinking that I'm too much. Um,
Oh, so you feel like you need somebody who's at that same level to feel supported, almost.
mhm.
That makes sense. That makes
And it
sense.
doesn't even have to be, it could be on multiple levels, like emotionally, spiritually, like I it's just a thing that I'm still trying to sort out and work out. But I'm very grateful for the adult friendships that I have. And the most grateful I am for the kind of friendships, the friendships that remind me of where we get to be like children again.
Yeah, being able to have that kind of energy where you're youthful, but at the same time respected.
Mhm.
'Cause that's the difference, I think, with being an adult versus, like, when we were kids, is that, like, respect never came into the it wasn't a factor when we were kids, but as
Oh, it
an
was for
adult,
me.
well, I mean, it is, but, like, I'm saying, like, it wasn't something I consciously thought about.
Mm.
When I was a kid, it was just like, we were at the same level, it was fine. But as an adult, I'm consciously thinking of, "How is this person approaching?" Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm
How
I'm
they
being
rolling
more
up.
conscious about it as an adult than I was as a kid because I was disrespected a lot when I was
Mhm.
younger without even realizing it. Um,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, so I think, like, one of the reasons why it's harder to make friends as an adult is because you have that other factor. You have to think about, where is this person in their life that we could be friends or not. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
because if somebody's under a certain age, it's hard to make a meaningful friendship with them because they're so much younger. I can be supportive of a younger person in their goals and stuff like that, but I don't think that it would be the same level as, like, something we have because of that. I don't know, there's just, like, a different life stage happening.
Yeah. It's like, "Oh, cute, you're a Kohai." That doesn't mean they're any
Yeah.
less of a developed person or da da da. It's just we've reached auntie age. We're
Yeah, that's it, that's
we're
it,
in
that's
our
it.
auntie era. We're in
Cause
our
like,
auntie era.
I was talking to one of the on my art account, and this one kid was asking me my age, and when I told her, she was like, oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, well, you give off an older sibling vibe, so that makes sense." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my goal. I'm just here to support people and, make art. It's fine." I'm
Mhm.
not really here to make actual deep, meaningful friendships on this account, but, like, at the same time, like, I'm not saying I can't have deep, meaningful friendships with younger people because, like, Sarah's 26,
Mhm.
gonna be 27, like, she's young, and my friend Rose is, like, 27, 28, something like that, so, like, but at the same time, they've both been through hell a lot.
Mhm.
So, like, even though, like, we talk about, anime and games and stuff like that, and that's, like, where our friendship kind of meshed, we can talk about, like, deeper life things as well because of
Mhm. The
having
amount of
been
life
through
they've
a lot.
lived.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like, my friend Rosa has gone through cancer, like, she
Mm.
as, like, a very young person. So, like, she l has seen a ton of friends die and stuff like that, so she's got, like, old soul energy because
Mhm.
of just the volume of life that she's lived and stuff like that, so I can really connect with people like that just because they've lived that much life, but, like, it just made me think about, like, because when you're in school as a kid, you basically have a built-in friend group available to you if you want, because you're with a bunch of the same people over and over again in these classes where you have to see them all the time. And in college, you're in dorms or, you're in classes with people repeatedly, so you kind of it's easy to make friends that way. But as an adult, all you have is an office, and in an office, you don't necessarily have people with the same interests necessarily.
Mm. I've
So
had more luck in the office making friends than I did in school and high school.
really,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's because I had a different level of risk. I had competency. I felt confident
Ah,
in what I was doing, and so it allowed me to open up more. And I had a teacher in high school that used to tie my hair back behind my head. She literally would tie it back because I would wear my braids in front of my face to hide my face so no one will see me. And she was like, "No." She's like, "I don't know what this is, this hiding thing from everyone else is, but I, for one, need to see your face." So, like, she's like, "You need to pull your hair back when you come into this class." And so I didn't do it, and she tied my braids back behind my head.
wow.
Mhm.
I mean, but that is that you were an emo kid, weren't you? You were
Yes.
you were you were
she
super emo.
she would
Wow.
be like, look up. We got to the point where she did not care how I was doing in the actual mathematics portion of the class, but whether or not I was blossoming as a human being.
That's kind of awesome, though.
It
Like, good on
was.
that teacher for
Yeah.
actually
She was
trying
a
to
nun.
see
I
you
forget
as a
her name.
person.
I think her name was Sister Lucy.
I vaguely remember some of the teachers that we had, but I was an arrogant little shit in high school. Like, I thought I was hot stuff, and, um, I didn't necessarily wanna be part of any specific clique, so it was really just our little friend group, but
Hmm.
we branched out. Like, we could fit in with anybody,
Hmm.
but we didn't really belong with anybody specific. So,
I get that energy.
I had a bunch of friends outside of our group, and I had, but it was mainly just our main group, and I feel like I was kind of a catalyst for the group because when
You
I went off to
probably were.
college early, like, everybody didn't hang out as much, and they told me that, and they were like, "How dare you?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I left."
Oh, you were the hinge there too.
Like, I didn't mean to be. It's not like it was a goal to because again, I never see myself as being important to any kind of group. I just,
Hmm.
like hanging out with people. So I just assume that they'll hang out without me all the time, but then it doesn't happen, and I'm like, "That's weird."
You're the White Lotus in the Game of Pi show. You're the White Lotus.
I would absolutely join that group of very competent old men.
Oh no, the actual piece. I mean the piece, the game piece.
What does the piece
Um,
do?
the the piece brings together. It moves across the board slowly, one step at a time, but it reaches the other pieces and it converts, not converts them, converts the wrong word, but it unifies them and makes one strong piece connection of five.
Oh.
So it brings other pieces together. So you bring other people together.
I mean, I
And
guess
when
I
you're not
do.
there, they kind of like, meh, a little.
Though I will say everybody that I've had on the podcast with us absolutely wants to be friends with you. So if you are feeling
Yay!
any
Yes.
any kind of
Yes.
reticence about it, I assure you, literally, it was so funny before Danny came on, he was like, I really wanna get to know Rawiyah a lot." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Danny's super cool. Like I ain't gonna lie, Danny's one of the listeners who I'm like, I hope Danny doesn't think I'm weird. I hope Danny doesn't think I'm weird. I hope Danny doesn't think I'm weird. I'm saying weird shit right now. And it's coming. I hope Danny doesn't think I'm like Danny. Sometimes is on my mind when we do these recordings. So
Hear that, Danny? You're on their mind. So,
Zach be
if
on my
you
mind too. But when I was doing the indiscretion one, for the most part, I was like, Danny's gonna think I'm a horrible person.
no, no, not at all. Not at all remotely. I think for the most part, he's gonna be amused by most of your stories because you have a lot of really cool stories,
Mhm.
just like me.
Yeah, like you.
I just
There
really
was.
love how we've adopted that. Just like, it's you. It just makes me
It's so
so
fucking
happy.
cute. It's okay,
It
so
just makes
cute.
me
It
so
brings me so
happy.
much joy. Oh my god. Um. No, you know what? I welcome more connections now than I have in the past. It's just finding those connections and then allowing myself to make the time investment because we're at the age where it's like there's not a lot of time. We're
Nope.
we're 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 we're, we're approaching middle age and it's like
I I honestly feel like I'm a little past middle age, and why I say that is because for some reason, I cannot imagine living past 65.
No, shut up. Shut your face hole. You, you shut your mouth right now.
I'm sorry. No, Kurt gets mad at me about that too, but I'm
I'm
like, I
going
just
to my
can't see
cauldron
it.
tonight. I'm going to my cauldron with $2 bills in a red envelope going long and prosperous life. Don't you fuck around on me. I would be so mad. I would be like the seances. Like I would summon you back. Like I would put like BL and the Nami dolls in a
But
pentacle and be like, bitch.
at at least you know how to summon me. Like, I wouldn't be haunting you, come on. I would totally haunt you. Just be living in your house. What you gonna do about it? "Hey, Bertha, what's
Nothing.
up?"
I'll just put stuff out for you. You'd have a little altar. It'd be like, oh, there'll be people would be like, who's this white lady on your altar? And I'm like, first, not a lady, gender queer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Second, let me tell you everything about them. Do you have like 5 or 6 hours?
No.
They're like, da 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 da. I'm like, you mean the other half of my soul? What are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Like, shut up. Like, no, 65, not long enough. Shut up.
Alright, I will make the effort because I think,
Please
like,
do.
you and Kurt would be very mad at me otherwise.
So upset.
He gets so mad at me whenever I say that. I'm like, "I just" so I've been working on my health, been taking
Mm-hmm.
vitamins and shit so that I will
Mm-hmm.
live longer,
Good. Good. Shit, I have
working
a
on it.
pharmacy. I'm trying to be here like for like I'm not gonna lie. If the water wars happen, I might have to be like peace. But aside from that,
Yeah, if we end up in a Kevin Costner movie, I'm out, I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, like I'm not built for that. I'm not even ashamed. I'm not built. I just know I'm not built for that right now, and I don't want that kind of struggle. Like all my life I've had to fight. I'm not gonna fight.
Mm-mm.
Fight's gonna
No.
run out. Fight's gonna run out.
Like
Um,
like if Fallout happens and if I'm not a ghoul, I'm probably getting blown up and that's fine.
yep. Um, oh my God, starting Fallout. I played Fallout for a little
Yeah.
bit, but it gave me so much anxiety. Like the first moments gave me like you're running through the hills and you're trying to make it to the am I thinking about Fallout? You're running through the town trying to get to the underground bunker.
That I feel like that's the latest one
Mm-hmm.
because Fallout 3 starts out and you are already in the bunker. You got born in the bunker and you get to pick your stats. Fallout New Vegas starts out and you are in the wasteland and you have no idea who you are. Oh, no, no, no. That one starts out, you get shot in the head and then you wake
Whoa.
up in the desert and you're like, I gotta go find this chip that got taken from me by this asshole who shot me in the face. So get me back to good doc. And the doc gets you back to good and you take a
Wait,
psychological
is that
assessment.
the one? I saw the one that I was playing and watching someone else play, watching Tragic Jesus play. Like there was this whole like subtext with either a child or a father.
No, that was the newest one. That was Fallout 4 because that one starts out you have to run to the bunker and then you get separated from your spouse and you have a son or
Hmm.
like you have a child basically and then you wake up and find out that your spouse is dead and you have to like figure out what's going on with the wasteland and like your child gets taken away and you have to go find your kid and I didn't like that one. I stopped playing that one because it didn't give me the good brain juice. So, because
Hmm.
like you have to like homestead and shit, and I'm like, this isn't The Sims. I just want to wander the wasteland and shoot things.
Oh,
What is this bullshit? I have
I
to grow.
want
I
a
have to
farm
grow
stand.
things.
I
I
want a farm
like
stand.
I
I don't want to shoot things.
that kind of game I have to play with multiple people because
Hmm.
like if we're gonna have a community. I need somebody to build the community with because I am going to get bored. If you are just sending me out into the wilderness to find fucking logs to make houses with, I can't.
Oh,
If you
that
want to
sounds
send me out
heavenly.
to other settlements to steal shit and shoot things and hunt, that's where I'm at. I
Okay,
want to snipe
so
things in those games. That is what I am there for.
we are apocalyptic compatible because I will totally be the one who's out there like let me collect these logs, let me make this garden, I want to make medicines and salves. Like, oh, zombies are coming, if you need me to pick up a gun, I will, but I'd much rather be here taking care of the children, like.
Yeah. No, like, I like shooting. I
Mhm,
actually went shooting with my dad a couple times ago, and I actually enjoyed it.
mhm,
And I'm actually pretty good. Like, my cluster was okay, so I could probably deal with a zombie apocalypse and get by.
I'm cross-sighted. I'm cross-sighted, so
Cross
yeah, so
Oh.
like when I shoot, it's
Mhm.
not my dominant eye, it's not my left eye. My trigger finger is my it's switched. So like I want to shoot with my left hand, but I want to look with my right eye.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and this I only found that out because a guy that I was well, I had a few experiences. One was this guy, he was ex-Marine, and he considered me like one of his sisters.
Mhm.
So he was like, I taught all my sisters how to shoot a gun and how to drive a stick shift. So you're one of my sisters now. He totally totaled me. He's like, you're my sister now.
My
and he
brother.
and he taught me how to shoot a gun. Then later this guy I was dating who was a complete asshole. He took me to the range and like I had a lot of fun shooting rifles, which
Mhm.
I told the oh my god, who was it? Ugh. You remember when I had that daddy dom?
Yeah, 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 the cop.
The cop? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember him.
Ugh. uh
Blech.
so I told him, "Oh yeah, I went on this date and he took me to the shooting range and it was fun and all this other stuff." And he's like, "What kind of guns did you shoot?" And I was like, "Oh, a rifle and da da da." And he said, "Be ready for next weekend." I was like, "Next weekend?" He's like, "Yeah, next weekend." So the next weekend we went out to the range that was part of the police training, whatever. And
Oh
he's like,
oh, the
"Here's a
fancy
machine gun."
range.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you got to shoot a machine gun? I'm kinda jealous, what the fuck? That sounds super fun.
I was like, this is the epitome of my dick is bigger, but but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. And so,
Like, the rifle I shot was my dad's, like, 24 that
mhm.
he got in the '60s. So it was, like,
Wow.
the wood butt, like, and he took meticulous care of it, like, it was old, but, like, well cared for. I'm like,
Mhm.
"This is a nice ass gun."
Mhm.
I was like, "This reminds me of the gun from Fallout, so I'm gonna enjoy shooting." 'Cause, like,
And,
the first gun you get in the game is, like, an old 24 rifle, and I, like, would use it to snipe the rad scorpions in the desert.
mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. My God. My God. Yeah, you your friendship I think was the first friendship I've had in a while because I lost a lot of my I felt like people didn't really care about me or think about me when I was living in New Orleans, and that was just mama trauma.
Mm, mhm.
So when I left New Orleans. I didn't even tell anyone I was leaving
Oh, wow.
when I moved
You
to
just, like,
Colorado.
up and moved.
Yeah, I up, I moved to Colorado. I lived there for 2 years, and then I moved to California. Like nobody knew where I was. Everyone in high school was keeping track of everybody and talking to everybody and planning reunions and shit. And I was like, none of these hoes want me around. I was wrong about that, but in my mind, because of the lens through which I was looking, I'm like, nobody wants me around. So I moved out to California, and I ended up in a relationship where there was a lot of isolation going on. So on
Yeah.
top of me feeling like I didn't have anyone who cared enough, I was also actively being isolated. Um, and that didn't come to an end until I started going to massage school and having the coven.
Mm, mhm, mhm.
And then like but being and I wasn't able to understand what people wanted to, or why people wanted to be friends with me, or like how to approach that friendship. So when you came out to me and you were like, we're gonna be friends, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay, okay, all right, okay, cool. Like we could do this. We could do this. This is fine. This is great. Um, and it was like, it was amazing, and it is amazing. But you were the first friend I had, in a long time, that I felt was really like, you didn't want anything from me.
Mhm.
You just wanted to be friends, whatever that meant. You didn't want anything. You didn't want to like take anything from me or use something about me or anything. You just wanted to be friends. And our friendship has and then when our friendship hit that one point
Mhm.
because of, Jared
The
Leto.
I was gonna say the asshole.
So,
The asshole.
um, I'm like, fine, fuck it. I'm not gonna have any other friends. For a while. It took me a while to be able to have other friends. But then what started to happen is the friends, and this may sound really arrogant or egotistical or conceited or something, I get it. But it's what happened. The friends I had started to find afterwards were all, a lot of them were attracted to me.
Mhm. That's not
And
arrogant, that's just the truth. Everybody like, when I was like, when we were hanging out on the regular, it just you had people just flocking to you who wanted to bone you.
yeah,
All the time, constantly, just flocking.
and I wouldn't I wouldn't recognize it. I was oblivious to it, or I did recognize it, and it made me anxious, and I would like immediately um put distance between us
Mhm.
because I didn't want, oh man, I wanted to say like I didn't want that pressure, but I didn't understand being with people who wanted me, which is why I think I ended up with Tragic Jesus. Because the less someone wanted me, the less pressure I felt. And so it would be easier for me to be like, okay. And then there was that other part, which is the mama trauma, which was like, oh, I have to prove myself to you. Oh, you don't want me like this? Like, I have to prove myself to you. I have to not prove myself to, it was weird. He was weird. He
That
was
whole family's
weird.
weird.
That whole family
We
was
have
weird.
agreed.
It was weird. It was like he wanted me there, but he didn't want to interact with me, but he wanted me there and he wanted to take
Yes!
care. But
Oh
yeah,
my god, it's so weird. So, like, mine was the same way, like, he didn't like when I was gone, but it's not
yeah,
because he wanted me there, it's because he wanted me around,
yeah.
not because he wanted to spend time with me, just because he wanted me there within
Mm-hmm.
his purview, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. But because of that, like, yeah. And then when I started dating him, then people thought I wasn't queer, which I hate queer erasure just because you're
Ugh,
dating,
yeah.
like, so like, oh, you're not queer. And then also people assumed monogamous. which was a thing. So they assume straight and monogamous, and I'm like, I'm very much queer and poly.
Yeah, right? Stop
I'm
assuming things about me.
stop. And so then the people who were trying to be my friends because they wanted to get closer to me, like, stopped. And yeah. And then also got into a place where work was the most important thing in my life. Like living in the Bay Area as an artist and a massage therapist was a constant hustle. There was no, I was struggling for survival, and that didn't give me time to actually connect with people. Or I thought I didn't have time to connect with people because I kept myself extraordinarily busy. Like I worked so much. When I wasn't working, I was doing one or two shows a night. So I never gave myself time or allowed myself to have those relationships. And now that I'm 42, I'm like, what do we have if not our relationships?
True. Yeah.
Where are we without our communities? And it's having friendships and closer friendships and bonds with that, like, have vulnerability and openness in them, is totally against the isolationism and the individualism that this capitalistic society tries to impose on us.
Yeah. And, like, the problem that I have with making new friends is that I have a lot of trouble tamping down my affection level. Because when I like someone, I really, really like that person, and
I
I
understand.
kind of, like I'm a little intimidating, and I don't mean to be. So I have
Okay,
to, like, try to hold back so that I don't scare them off.
I completely understand because when I like someone too, I am, I'm like, oh my God, I want to tell them how much I like them. But they're going to think I'm weird. Either they're going to think I'm weird or they're going to think that I'm romantically attracted to them in some kind of way.
Yes! And it's a problem, it's a struggle.
Mhm.
I'm like, "No, I
Mhm.
just wanna be your friend because I like you."
Mhm. And I like you intensely and immensely. And
Yeah,
that's
immediately, we have to spend all of our time together, and, like, not everyone responds the way you did. You were just like, okay." Meanwhile, I'm like, "You're my best friend now. Deal with it."
and I was thinking it was gonna be awkward. I'm like, this is gonna be awkward for a little bit, but
Nope, it
it's
wasn't.
gonna be, and never was awkward. Never. Never was it awkward. And then I feel like that experience kind of spoiled me. But at the same time, I've been using that line. I'm like, hey, would you like to be friends? Like, I
I
would
mean, the
like to be
worst thing
friends
they
with
can
you,
say
and
is
this is why.
no.
Yes. And if they say no, it's like, okay,
I guess that's fine, thanks.
well, because that's, yeah, like you don't want to be my friend, but that's
Most of
okay.
the time they do though. I would say at least a good half of the time they're cool with it.
Hmm.
At least
So
half the
shoot
time.
your shot. Shoot your
Exactly.
shot for your friends, you guys. I have one friend we went to New Orleans together. Her name is Janine, and I absolutely fucking love her. And but when we were on that trip, we didn't really know each other that well. But
Mhm.
during the course of the trip, like I totally like fell in love with them. And one night while I was really high, I was like, "Can I tell you how much I love you?" And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "I need to tell you how much I love you, friend. Can I tell you how much I love you?" And she's like, "Yes." And I went on for like 20 minutes about how much I
You will
loved
do
her.
that. You are eloquent and verbose when it comes to affection.
And I was like, da 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 da, and they're just like laughing over there, going, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." I'm like, "Yeah." Like, yeah, so I took a bunch of pictures of her while we were in New Orleans. I was basically
Mhm.
like following her ass around with a camera. And I'm like, yeah, I was doing that because I love you and I loved experiencing that time with you. So, and I think we're so conditioned for that kind of love to be restricted to a sexual physical
Mhm.
relationship that it's like we have these feelings but we don't often express them. But I love how queerness has created this space for us to say to our friend, like, for the most part, when I log off with a friend, it always ends with I love you. Like, I love you. I hope you have a good day. Like, I love you. Like, that's
Yeah.
how I'll sign off with my friends. And there's people who are friends with people and they don't say that. They don't say I love you when they say goodbye. And I'm like, if anything, I know that everyone that I have talked to recently, if something were to happen to them or something were to happen to me, the last words we said to each other were "I love you," and I don't know. I feel like I'm going off on a tangent. I'm not even high,
No, no,
but
that's so nice. So nice. And it's not something that society really allows because of again, because of it being restricted to romantic for the most part. So, like,
hmm
when you just love your friends, it feels weird sometimes telling them "I love you." Like, we're in the habit, but, like, I don't necessarily say that to all of my friends because I'm not in the habit of it. But then again, I also don't really leave off conversations with people. We just stop talking for a hot minute, and then we come back and we're talking again.
you have a continuous conversation going.
And that's just how I am as a person, like, it's like, picking up from last week, here is all of the things that we were talking about, you know?
hmm
Eh, and I don't know if it's the ADHD or what, but, like, I have no friendship degradation, so, like, if somebody that I haven't talked to in, like, 3 years starts talking to me, I'm like, "Cool, we're talking now." And, like, we just have a normal conversation, and then that's it. Like, that's fine, that's normal for me.
hmm I have a friend who we send letters back and forth to each other.
That's kind of awesome.
Right? It's
Yeah.
it's like it's so fucking sweet. Like, we have stickers and stationery, and they put stickers all over their envelopes. They have cute stickers. They put stickers all over their envelopes. And my letters that go out have like one sticker on the back, and it's an elegant butterfly. And they're
I
sending
was
me
like
stickers of butts. It's great.
speaking of, I have some stickers to send you when I send you the Gojo painting next. I mean, a painting that I did a while back. Don't worry about it. I forgot I hadn't told you what it was of. You can assume that 90% of the paintings I'm sending you lately are Gojo related.
Oh my god, the drool. The drool. I love that man so much. I'm just looking at my wall, like, where am I gonna put it? Like, I could already like where I'm gonna put this Gojo. Um, whew. Oh, he's so hot to me.
Mm.
Nah, no. There's this quote from um heaven's officials, heaven officials' blessings, where Hua Chung says something like, "Sometimes knowing a person exists in the world is all that you need."
Oh,
And of course,
man.
yes, 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 right, right. Of course, he was talking about to Jillian. But I feel that way about you.
No.
Like, sometimes when I'm having a tough day, I think of my friends who I share love with, and I'm like, okay, I can make it through another day. Like, they're here, they exist in this world. And like on the top of that list, and a person I often think about when I think about thoughts like that is you. So like that's how much that's when I when we had friendships, when we had community like that,
Mhm.
who can stop that? I mean, who can stop us? Who can stop us when we're united in that way? And I feel like this whole individualism, or this whole idea of you put all these feelings into one person and that's your spouse,
Mhm.
keeps us separated and takes away from our collective power. Adult friendships are so important. That's
Seriously.
one thing with Tragic Jesus. I was like, you ain't got no friends. And he was like, I have a few friends. And I'm like, no, you ain't got no friends. Like, you ain't got no friends. Like, what, how are you functioning in life with no, like, people that you actually have formed really intense connection with, that you reach out to, not just them reaching out to you? Like, where are your friends? If he
Straight
had
men have it
friends,
rough. Like,
huh?
a lot of straight men I know, they just don't have friends, or, like, their level of friendship is not to the same level as other
Mhm.
people's level of friendship. So, I
Mhm.
feel I feel kinda bad for them sometimes because I'm like, y'all just need a hug sometimes."
That's true. Society does put this thing on intimacy between men as being something queer. Like, you and I, we could hug each other in public all the time,
Mhm,
like, and nobody would think, relate that in a kind of sexual way or whatever.
mhm.
But men, toxic masculinity that is forced upon them, this idea of what masculinity means in this country is doing something. Because I'm looking at men interacting in other countries and they hug and kiss each other.
Yeah. It's
Like,
specifically the Western ideal of what a man should be. That's the problem.
mhm, mhm.
'Cause, yeah,
Sucks.
they don't have that issue in most Eastern countries, unless the Brits have
Been there.
had an influence over them in some way.
Which is their influence a lot of we'll say
Un
influence.
A lot
They
of places.
colonized a lot of
Too
places.
too many places.
Yes. Yes. They're the reason why there are a lot of liberation days. But
Yeah,
yeah, like,
but our friendship is what had me believe in platonic and multiple soulmates, because I
yes.
realized that I also had another friend when I was very, very young that I had a soulmate connection with, and I lost her because she moved away and I was a child, so I had no way to,
Yeah.
stay connected with her, but, like, that's a thing, and knowing that that's okay and healthy and normal is, I think, important, because I think
Yes.
people think that that has to be a romantic thing, or that, like, you can't have a deep connection unless it is romantic, and that's just not
Mhm.
true at
No.
all remotely.
No. I think I think it might be, again, I keep coming back to queer culture, or queering our culture. And that's because I've noticed these levels of intimacy a lot among my queer friends, more than I've
Mhm.
witnessed it among my straight friends. And I've seen it cross genders in queer community, where some people may consider it socially unacceptable for like a straight woman who's in a relationship to have like multiple or even some close male friends outside of a work husband, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things, like, when I was going down my list for my friend, she was like, "You have a lot of guy friends," and I'm like, "Do I?" I don't I feel like I have a normal amount of guy friends, but, like, yeah, I mean, I because I guess for me, I never saw it as, like, a difference. It's just if we have a connection, we have a connection, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I can see how it's also been pushed into society that, like, guys and girls can't be friends unless they're going to be romantic, and
Mhm.
that's such an unhealthy way to think about things.
It's such a transactional way to think of
Yes.
things.
Yeah, like, it puts people in boxes, and I hate that.
Mhm. And it potentially has ended some what could be some amazing connections. It's like, "Oh, great, I can't connect to you because you're a guy." Like, like, I will say something, like, Tragic Jesus really disliked when I hung out with other guys who didn't feel threatened by other women or genderqueer people or trans people or da da da, and I realized, oh, you only consider men as competition because of your
Mhm.
whatever, but also this is fucked up because I get to have relationships with people regardless of gender.
Yeah. Like, and who says I'm not feeling romantic about, you know, another femme?
Right?
You don't know. You don't know.
Woo! Do not know. Shit. Shit. Mm. I love everybody. I love everybody.
Exactly.
I love everybody. I used to say I will date anyone except for a gay guy because they're not going to be interested in dating me. And then what
Exactly.
happened? 4 years later, I was dating a gay guy.
Really?
Yes. Oh
You
my
never
God.
explained. Please tell me more. Yeah, I have to know now.
I met this guy through Anderson Ferry, and he's gay, and we were instantly he walked up to me, he was like, "You're my twin flame." And I'm like, "What?" And I should have known something was off because he used the phrase twin flame. But he was like, "You're my," he's like, "I know." He's like, I know." We met at Con for the first time.
Did I know this person?
I'm not sure. I don't think when we reconnected and we're at Con together, um, I'm not sure if he was there that time. Y'all were at
Hmm.
Con at the same time. I probably just never introduced him. Y'all were at Con at the same time. Because I remember he was there during Toppling the Tower, and you were there during Toppling the Tower. So
Yeah.
I don't think I introduced y'all, but he was like, "You're my twin flame." And anyway, so we hooked up, and then we hooked up. I mean, he had a husband and two lovers.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm gay. I identify as gay. I don't know why I am so physically and emotionally attracted to you. And I'm like, same,
Wow.
same. So yeah, no, we were
No, I
together for
had
like
no I You need
a
to send
year
me
and a
some
half.
information. I need some deets. This is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
So
I
so
I
that
went to Columbus, Ohio to visit him.
wait, wait,
This is before
wait,
we had reconnected.
wait. Is it Did his name start with a J?
No,
Okay, I was gonna say, I thought he
no.
was your brother. What
No, 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 no. He's but they studied together. They studied fairy together until shit happened and he got
Oh,
actually with this guy, we connected in a spiritual tradition, and I told him, I was like, we I I basically told him, I was like, look, you're right that we're catalysts for each other, but I will And he's like, yeah, he's like, you're my queen with the sword. And I'm like, yeah, and I could either knight you or I could cut your head off.
I mean, that's
And
true.
I ended up cutting his head off. And I
Really?
told him it was coming. Yeah. He had some issues that he needed to work on for himself.
Mhm.
Like he had this habit of it's weird. He had such charisma and power, but he wasn't he was devious. He was devious. Like he would say someone said something, he would come to me and say, "This person said A, B, and C, and I don't know what to do. Can you take care of me?" Basically. And then he would go to the other person and say something like, I watched him play two people against each other. I watched him play two people against each other.
So, like, he
And
had that level of charisma, but used it for evil.
he used it for evil. He used it for evil. And I did a lot of emotional labor with him, and like he was just he was just not doing a thing. So then he also taught something within fairy that you shouldn't teach other people how to do when you're not if you're not a fairy teacher. And I was like, you can't be teaching this. And he was teaching it just so he could get to be relevant.
Oh, that's gross.
And so I'm like, don't do this again. And he did it again. And he told me about it. And I'm like, well, now I gotta now I gotta snitch. Now I
Right?
gotta now I gotta snitch. So like, yeah. And he said, and I broke up with him because of how he was being devious to other people.
Mhm.
And he said, I want to be with you. Like, why? What can happen for that to be? And I'm like, let's say his name was Robert. Let's say his name was Robert. And I told him, and he had a magical name. And let's say that magical name was like something like Willow, right?
Okay.
So I said, Willow, you need to bring me Robert's head on a plate, and then we can talk. Yeah. Yeah. I
That's
was a beast.
intense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I once asked Tragic Jesus what it was like being in a relationship with me, and he said, "You're like Galadriel." I'm like, "Oh," and he's like, "Yeah. Um, instead of a king, thou shalt have a queen, both terrible and despair, both beautiful and terrible, and all will despair." And I'm like,
Okay, look,
"Okay, fair."
that's because he was a weak bitch and, couldn't
Thank
handle
you.
you. Like, it's very simple because, like,
Feel so seen.
seriously, like, and I've told you this before, like, being around you is like staring directly into the sun. So if you're not prepared for it, obviously you're gonna get your retinas burned out of your face, and
It was like pie.
that's on you. That's on you for not being strong enough to handle it. That's not on you. That's on the person who can't handle
Yeah.
your flame, you know?
Oh, after I visited him in Ohio, like 3 months later, he and his husband got a divorce.
What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Eh.
So so what did you see? Like, were they not good together or
No, they were like they had drama. Like I was like, why are y'all in a relationship treating each other like this? I asked him while we were high on mushrooms.
Mhm.
I was like, why are y'all letting each other treat each other like this? Like He doesn't like your magical family. Your magical family doesn't like him. Like, he's disrespectful to you. You're disrespectful to him. Why are y'all doing this? Like, does it make sense? Can y'all repair it? Because right now there just seems to be a lot of discord. And do you actually want to solve the discord? Do you want to work together on this? Oh, that's what happened. That's what had happened. Because I was trying to figure out what exactly did happen. Um, he he was basically going to tell his magical family that his husband was on some fuck shit, and he would tell his husband his magical family was on some fuck shit, and everybody was just trying to take care of him. Does that
Mm,
make sense?
yeah, so he was playing, like, the victim in between, basically.
He was playing the victim in between. And um and it wasn't just, I'm like, it's a turnoff and kind of fucked up to I told him to watch him treat people like that and to be treated like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're better than this. And he said, you're right, I've just been holding on to this relationship. He disclosed a lot of about what was going on to me and how he was feeling about it. Um and basically their little whatever together was some kind of, they had they were kind of, they had a position of power in which gay community out there.
Mhm.
And so together, but they were powerful together. They were like a a, a gay witch,
Power
a little bit
couple.
of a power couple. Yeah. Yeah. And so also didn't want to mess that up. And I was just like, that sounds weak as shit, but
Okay.
if that's how you want to do. But I also, I can't fuck with someone who's living their life a certain kind of way like that. So it's been a slice, kid. And and then he came back with, I'm divorcing my husband.
And you're like, "Oh, I'm so surprised.
Uh-huh.
This is such a surprise to me. How could
Yeah.
this happen?"
And then he was like, I didn't, then later he was like, I didn't actually want to divorce my husband. I just wanted to get initiation into the tradition that, like, we're studying in, and I felt like I wouldn't ever be offered initiation if I didn't have any major break in my life. And I'm like, and I was like, whoa. And then I
That
was like, yeah, mess, but happy ending. He stayed divorced. He met someone who is on equal level with him, who loves him and who he loves. And the
Mhm.
last I heard, he's been living his best life.
Well, that's good.
So he got it together.
That's really good. Good for
Mhm.
him.
Mhm.
So he stopped being so manipulative, basically.
I hope so. It looks like he has. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, I couldn't be with manipulative people like that. Yeah, that last conversation when he told me about how, like, he didn't want to divorce his husband, he just did it so he could get initiation into our tradition. I was like, that's when I was like, bring me Robert's head on a plate, and then we can talk. But for right now, it's done. I'm like, you have no access to my heart, to my body, to my spirit. My eyes do not see the path that you have left or the path that you will leave. Hmm.
So you didn't just, like, break up with him, you severed. You were
Oh
like
yeah, I severed. And it's not like I did this spell. I said these words to him.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
I'm just like, I
Um,
recognize that as a severing
hmm.
because it's pretty obviously a severing.
And it was
Wow.
fucked up because, like, he saw me in ways I felt like other people didn't see me in at that point when I needed to be perceived. Like, we went to this whole we went to this whole event where all the witches gathered, and it was just beautiful, and we were out in the woods, and there were enough people for me to not feel scared, and everybody just loved each other, was loving on each other. We're very touchy feely, and it was great. But I started to see an overlay, and this happens with people when I start to form relationships with or friendships with. They will
Mhm.
say one thing to me, and I will see like an overlay of a face over theirs that will tell me something the opposite of what they said. So if someone says, "Oh,
Really?
you look," it's fucked up. If someone would say, "Oh, you look cute in that dress," it'll show up and say, "Oh, it's obvious you don't look cute in that dress. You look fucked up," and they just didn't know what else to say to you. Like they're nice to everyone. They're not really being nice to you or don't really care about you. Like that would happen. And so I was battling those voices the whole time we were there,
Mhm.
to the point where it was too much. I had to go be in a dark room. So I would disappear from the room for several times, and he started to notice that I was doing that. And we went on this walk to this cave that was open on one side and had a waterfall and a tree growing in
Mhm.
it, and you could like walk up this rock face and come to this tree, and everybody was going in and I was going with them, so we're like a group of like 15 people, and I begin to linger towards the back, and I have the car
Mhm.
keys, and I'm like, and I keep hearing voices being like, nobody's going to notice you if you're gone. No one's going to notice if you're gone. No one's going to care. You can go back to the car.
Mm.
You can disappear. You can be quiet. You can be by yourself. Being around people is too much. It's fine. And besides, no one's going to miss you because no one actually wants you there. Let me let you know, when I
Wow.
finally got to the back of the group and got far enough away to turn around and head to the
Mhm.
car, like it was. It was like a scene out of a K drama or an anime. Like I was turning around and
And
he
he
grabbed my
grabbed your arm.
hand. hmm And he's like, "Where are you going?" I just where you I'm like, "I'm going back to the car." And he's like, "Why? Is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just figure like I would be fine. Like other people could go, they'd go without me." And he was like, "I came back because all I could hear was you screaming." And I was like, "You heard that?"
I mean, you do that sometimes.
Yeah. And he held my hand and he walked with me up the side of this cave to this tree, and everyone else was singing the old songs that they knew.
Mhm.
And we were standing off to the side by this tree, and it was a tree trunk with it had a single trunk, but it split off into two sides. And he put my hand on one of the sides and he took his hand on the other. And he said, and he wasn't even looking at me, and he said, "I will always love you. I will always love you. No matter what you do or what you say, or if we several ways, he didn't use the word sever, but if we go our different ways, if you curse me, I will always love you." And whenever I've needed to raise funds for anything,
Mhm.
he has always sent something my way, even though we're not talking to each other.
Wow.
hmm He kept his promise to me. And I feel sometimes really shitty, like I should talk to him, but I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start.
So, here's the thing.
hmm
E Even though you did a severing with him, if you want to reconnect, all you have to do is say hello because he's going to embrace you completely if you say hello.
Mm.
I'm just letting you know that. Not saying you have to, obviously not. I'm just saying, like, if you feel in your heart that you want to reconnect with him, he will accept you. I know that 100%
Mm.
based on my instinct. He's going to not only be cool with you saying hello, but he'll probably cry about it.
Oh my God. I do wonder about him a lot. I wonder about him a lot. Especially since we both basically left a tradition that was so like a North Star in our lives.
Mhm.
Um, and also because I want to know if I just want to know where he's at. I want to know where he's at. I want to know what he's doing. I want to know that he's okay. But it took a while for me to get over being so like hurt and worn out
Mhm.
from him. But yeah.
And, like, it's good that you took the time that you needed, and it's good that you separated. Like I said, it's not, like, required that you do that, but I feel like if he really is a twin flame with you and you think that being friends with him would be possible, then saying hello is probably not going to go astray. In the same way that when I decided to reconnect with you, saying hello did not go astray, did it? Even though
No, I cried.
our ending was not super great at the time. So, just
I
saying,
cried so hard.
when when you have that connection with someone, sometimes it just takes a little bravery to get back
Mhm,
to have a connection again.
mhm.
So, if that's something you're interested in, I'm very 100% sure that he would be okay with that.
Okay. Okay. I might I might reach out. I might reach out. Yeah, no, when you were like, "Hello," I was like, I when that scene happened where Gojo heard Geto's voice for the first time.
With that shock.
That shot was like, and someone was like, "You was doing good until your ex showed up and then you folded."
Like a paper bag. He would not have been jailed. Kenjaku did that on purpose. He knew for a fact. He was like, "No, this is gonna fuck Gojo up the most. Whose body can I get that will fuck him up the most? Oh, this
Mhm.
man's available? Sign me up. Thanks for not
Mhm.
taking him to Shoko. You were saving her feelings, but it gave me an opportunity. Thank you so
Mhm.
much." Like, literally, he's so mean. He's so mean. Uh, "You may
Mhm.
look like Tsurugeto, but my soul says you're not." Ugh.
Yes. He's like, "You're cursed energy. You're this. You're that, Mayari, but mm-mm, mm-mm. So who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?" Yeah.
"Who the fuck are you, and what did you do with my soulmate?" Because
Mhm.
he's not in there.
Mhm.
And then when he was like, "How dare you let him use your body like that?" and he choked himself, god damn. That whole scene, I need to watch it again.
Yes. I need to watch it too.
Because somebody else pointed out the fact that, like, he couldn't properly imitate the way that Suguru spoke to him,
Mm.
because every time that he was like, "Satoru," every time that he said his
Mhm.
name, even when they, even when they met up in the movie where he was like,
Mhm.
"Satoru sashine,"
Mhm.
it was joking, it was friendly, but when he said it in the underground, he didn't sound like that. It was his voice, but he didn't
Mm.
sound like Suguru. He didn't
Mhm.
talk to Gojo the way Suguru would have talked to Gojo. So,
Mhm.
that was, like, yet another hint to him that he's like, "You're not fucking Suguru. What did you do to him?"
Mhm.
Uh, Bringing it back to JJK.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And what is Mappa's doing a season 2 of something? And I'm like, you assholes, give us season 2 of Yuri on Ice or something else, but they're doing a season 2 of something else.
It's Dorohedoro, which is
Oh
that
yeah,
weird
which
one.
I loved.
Really? I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
I liked it.
Like the
It
the
it
the
was
lizard guy?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I think I saw it the first time on Netflix. Um, but I liked it. Yeah, if you want to watch it, I totally there's this one character and she's like super brawny and super butch and she's just like a little cinnamon bun. She's like she can kick your ass and she looks very powerful, but she's just super sweet and I'm like, Why don't other people see your femininity just because you're swole as fuck?" Um, but yeah, I like the story. It was really the world setting is really quirky. It is not light at all. He's like trying to look for who took his head or some shit like that, I think. Um, but he doesn't
Yeah, that sounds pretty
remember.
intense.
Yeah, he doesn't remember everything that's happened to him. Um, but I enjoyed it. So I'm gonna watch it again and I'm gonna watch season 2 of it. But man, I'm like, give us we're still waiting. We're still here. Season 2 of Yuri on Ice. And I've tried to
Yeah,
look up fan fiction of Yuri on Ice and it's all awful. It's all bad.
it's a what how is it bad?
It's just badly fucking written.
Oh.
It's badly written. I started reading one where Yuri and Victor are having fights. Like, it
Oh, no,
just,
they wouldn't do that.
they wouldn't
That's weird.
fight.
They wouldn't.
Not like the way they have them fighting. I'm like, I get angst, but like, you need to give me some payoff of the angst. Like, they fought and now they're in bed and they're happy again. Like,
Yeah.
none of that.
But the thing is,
One of them had,
I can't
mhm.
even imagine them fighting over things.
Well, as soon as they have a difference of opinion, one of them starts to cry. So it's like,
And then the other would be like, "Oh, no, I'm sorry."
yes, yes, yes. Oh, that scene in Barcelona in the hotel room where Yuri was like, after this, let's end it. And Victor's like crying. And Yuri's like, I didn't know you could cry. And Victor's like, you're so selfish. I didn't know you were so selfish.
I
We're
need to
basically
watch it
engaged,
again.
bitch.
It's been years since I watched it last, actually. Yeah, I need to watch it again.
Yes, watch it again. And that way we can like be like, ah,
I'll text you while I'm watching it, like, "Oh my god, I
good,
can't believe he did that."
good. Oh, I love you and I so fucking much. But yeah, yeah, it's good. Yeah, there's some friendship regrets that I have because I was moving too fast. Not within the
What does that
relationship,
mean?
but
Yeah,
yeah, not in the relationship, but I never people knew me to the level of if you want Rawiyah to show up, you have to give them a job to do or else they're not going to show up. So
really?
I would be invited to go places or do things, but I felt so awkward and so unlovable and useless that the only way I would show up is if somebody gave me something to do. Like they didn't know that that was the reason why they had to give me something to do. They were just like, yeah, like unless they're putting in work, they're not going to show up. So give them something to
Wait,
do and they'll show up.
are you serious?
Mhm.
I can't imagine. I would just go force you to do things.
Yeah, you did.
I'd be
Yeah, you
like,
did.
I got lattes, we're going to the movies, bitch. Get up."
Yeah, you did.
But then again, I
Yeah.
realized that, like, I guess it's my Aries and Venus or whatever, but I'm really aggressive with friendship. I'm just like, "I am going to make you laugh until you choke, and then
Mhm.
and
I
then
think I
we'll
have
drink
Libra
wine."
and Venus. I think
Oh, so
my
you're, like, a bit more metered with how you handle people. I'm just very aggressive.
Mhm.
I'm very aggressive with my friendship. I'm like, "You're
I'm
gonna be my
very
friend, bitch. Guess what?"
I was very shy with a lot of low my shyness stemmed from a lack of confidence.
Mhm.
So I kept myself so busy that I couldn't slow down, like working two jobs and
Yeah.
performing all the time, and I kept myself so busy that I was moving too fast. I didn't slow down enough to form relationships. And then there was one relationship, a romantic relationship that I was starting, where I told this person, "Hey, look, I'm shit with timing. Like I have like my hands in so many different um projects, and it's going to take me a moment to disengage from some of this stuff so that I can spend the time I want to spend with you in order to get to know you, really know you." And I was upfront about it. And I started changing those patterns, but I was changing those patterns for the wrong person. Like she was on some manipulative fuck shit.
Mm.
Um and it was awful. It was awful. Um
Wait, I think I remember that one. I think I remember her
mm,
because I remember
she's
I didn't
bad.
like her. I remember I didn't like her. I was like, "No, I don't think she treats you right."
Yeah, yeah. And so and then after that I kind of like shelled up again. But mostly it was like I didn't think anybody was interested in being my friend or being a romantic partner with me. And I've run into some romantic partners in the past who are like, I have a romantic partner and I have my friends. And I'm like, why why are why can't I be your romantic partner and your friend too?
Yeah.
I never understood that, like separation between the two. I was explaining I was explaining to my roommates a few nights ago, and I was like, "Yeah, basically, I want to fuck my friends.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my friends are so
Honestly,
like,
I think that's the definition of being demi, personally, where, like, I have to
mm-hmm,
be really good friends with somebody to even remotely be attracted to them. And it's
yes,
not like I can be aesthetically attracted to people, like, people are like, "Oh, this guy's so hot." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. They are very attractive as a human." They're like, "Yeah, I'd wanna bone them." I'm like, "Oh, really? Do you have fun with that?"
mm-hmm.
I
But
I do
I
not
know
have that
nothing
yet.
about them.
Yeah, yeah, I'm like, I don't know that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just being with a hot person just doesn't sound, like,
Hot.
as appealing as it does for some of the but, like, if I really get to know somebody and we're, like, connected, I'm like, "Hell yeah."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Like it's on.
It's
It's
on.
on.
On like
Mm-hmm.
Donkey Kong, bitch. No.
Samesies. Samesies. So yeah, so I'm learning as an adult how to have friendships.
Mhm.
And I had someone tell me, like, "Oh, you form close bonds with someone and then you cut them off really quick." And I explained the situations in which I had to do a cutoff, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, yeah, all that makes sense, but it's still something that you do." And I'm like,
Okay,
"Why would I?"
no. No, no, don't listen to that person. They're that's a rude thing to tell someone, first off, and secondly, like, that just makes me think that person doesn't know you at all,
Yeah,
like, remotely, because that's not who you are as a person. You don't cut people off until they do something egregious to you or to
yeah,
someone else that you know, and,
yeah.
like, they have to have done something really, really bad, um, because we 'cause we're very alike in that, like, we'll tolerate a bunch of stuff. We'll tolerate too much, to be honest.
Too much, too
We
fucking
should
much.
cut people off more often.
More fucking often.
But, like, once they've done something egregious, it's like every bridge in town is being burned down
Mhm.
immediately.
Mhm.
A a curse on you, a curse on your family, a curse on your cow.
I've sent a chef's knife in the mail as a gift. I
Well,
did as
honestly,
a
that's a
try to
nice gift.
Jesus.
Did
I
you?
got a self. Yep. I gave him a self-sharpening knife. It was a nice knife too.
Wow.
I gave him,
I
and I wrote on the package. I was like, "Thank you. We're done here.
next.
Hmm. Thank you. Next." Yeah,
Yeah,
but you give knives when you're ready to end the relationship.
I sent the YouTube link to the music video "Never See You Again" to someone and then blocked them on every form of social media, and that was the only way they could get a hold of me.
Mm, lovely,
Blocked, blocked,
beautiful.
and whenever I saw a secondary account pop up, blocked,
Mhm.
triple blocked.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, when I
Thou
said, "You'll
shalt not
never see me
pass.
again," I mean you will never see me again.
Mhm. Yes.
You don't
Word.
y you don't know who I am, you never met me,
Mhm.
I had never existed to you. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, if I like, I will lose touch with people because I am extremely ADHD and I will forget that people exist. Um,
Mhm.
but, like, the instant they say hi, it's like no time has passed. I have no friendship degradation meter. So, I'm like, "Oh, hi. It's you."
It's
Um, but, like, yeah, if they've done something unforgivable, burn, burn it down, napalm.
mhm. Burn it down, burn it down. Boop, boop, boop. I'm getting together a workshop called Lulled By, like laugh out loud by.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Bye is the title of the
Bye.
workshop, and it's about banishments, boundaries, and bridge burning. For people, places, and things. So
Okay.
yeah, the only reason I'm hesitant about giving the workshop is because every time I give a workshop, that shit pops up for me in my life. Like when I was planning to do this workshop the first time, like it was when my ex and I were having going through a breakup, and I was like, "Oh shit,
Mhm.
maybe if I don't give this workshop, we won't break up." That was bullshit. It's already
Wow.
yes, it's already emotion. It's already emotion. But I'm also trying to do a workshop called Rituals for Hope and Grief, Grief and Hope. And I'm dealing with a lot of grief on one hand and hope in the other. And so that's really what's prevalent right now. And I'm sorting that out and letting it come to me. But I'm going to be doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. I think
Hmm.
everyone should attend that workshop because that sounds fun.
It's going to be in February. And then in March, I'm doing Toppling the Tower again, the whole series.
And that's a
All
really good
four.
series for anybody who hasn't done it before. I highly recommend that one to do it at least once.
Hmm.
It's very helpful for clearing space in your life, I feel like, and for taking on the work, the
Hmm.
very important work from a different angle than you may already be doing the work from.
My favorite part of that um, workshop is the introspection day, because it's a
Mhm.
four. It went from a 3 session thing to 4 sessions, and one of the sessions is retrospective, and where you hold yourself accountable
Mhm.
for um, like how you see yourself, working on fear and shame and guilt and shame in particular, and what stops us from interacting with revolutionary work and liberatory practices. So that was, it's like how we get free, how we get unbought. That's another class
Mhm.
I'm doing this year. Is like unbought and unbothered. Like that's a, which became a slogan during
Yes.
the whole PantheaCon thing. Unbought, unbothered.
Yes.
We got ribbons made that said unbought and unbothered. Uh, so yeah. So yeah, all these, I do classes that I need for myself. So I think grief and hope are coming first.
I think that's a good idea 'cause I feel like since we've like, just over the past year, I feel like you've gone through a whole lot of stuff, but I also feel like you've grown so much because I mean, I guess for both of us, because 'cause we're both back doing creative things at
Mm-hmm.
at at, like, a clip, by the way. And, like, you're opening yourself up to people again in ways that you had closed yourself previously.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is feeling safe or safer than
It's part of it is feeling safe. The other, most of it is a time issue.
mm,
Like I've become in the past 3 years really aware of my mortality. And I have two choices.
mm,
I could either be like, well, I don't know how long I have left. I'm on a shit ton of medications. I got a lot of physical ailments and disabilities and chronic issues and all that other stuff. I don't know how much time I have, so I can like just do nothing. Or I can try to experience everything that I can experience in this body with the time that I have.
and that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And so it takes away the pressure of being confident enough, because now it's not a choice, but now it's not a, am I confident enough? It's more of a clearer choice of, am I going to do this thing that I want to do, or am I going to pass up an opportunity to have this experience?
And
Like when this,
also, I
hmm
think that you will hold yourself back from being confident in a way that other people do not see you like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, the way that we perceive ourselves is very different from the way that other people perceive us.
yeah.
And I know for you and me specifically, we tend to be a lot harder on ourselves than other people are on us.
Oh, yeah. Levels of harder on ourselves than other people are on us.
Like, absolute like, I will have anxiety attacks over leaving a group chat type of thing because I'm like,
Mm,
"Everybody's gonna hate me, but I'm tired of all these notifications.
mm,
It's
mm.
interfering with my work." But, like, it's a thing that happens sometimes, and that's okay. But I'm
Yeah,
glad that you're stepping out and doing more things. I want you to
yeah.
be happy.
I want you to be happy too. And
Yeah,
that's friendship.
exactly.
Yeah. Yay.
Yay. But I need to eat dinner, I think.
Yeah, I should probably eat some food too. My blood sugar is starting to do a thing.
Do a thing.
It's
Okay.
starting to, it's starting to come down. It's like, okay, great. You had yogurt and you had some nuts and you had some cheese and some applesauce. Um, but you're gonna have to eat a meal of
Yeah.
something substantial.
Like, guess
even
what?
if
It's
it's a
dinner.
peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah. You need some protein. Have some
Mhm.
protein. Oh, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich sounds good.
Mhm.
I was thinking about pizza too. Kurt found this like elote pizza at Costco.
Shut up. I love elote.
Yeah. And so I'm like, hell fucking yeah. Give me that corn pizza. I don't care. It looks delicious. Just got to figure out how to make it in the air fryer so that it like I have to like cut it up or something because it's too big for the air
Mhm.
fryer. I'll figure it out because that thing looks
I
delicious,
believe in
and
you.
I don't want to leave the house, so I will forage in the basement if I have to find something that I want to eat today.
So, if you were to leave anyone with something after this episode, what would it be? What would you want them to carry with them from this?
That people want to be friends with you. So put yourself out there sometimes and that it'll be okay. Cause like, especially if you want to make friends, like find communities that you want to be part of and go be part of them. Cause life's too short to not have friends.
Mhm. I would leave people with you can interact with the world while you continue to do your healing. And that as long as you're aware of how your stories impact your present, I think it's okay to and needed to have intimate interactions with others. Like, so if you're not someone, and it doesn't mean like you don't have to be an introvert. Like I am an introvert. I am a well, maybe I'm an introvert extrovert or extroverted introvert. I'm one of those.
I was like, I don't
Um,
think either of us are one specific thing, but
yeah.
we balance each other out when we go out together.
Yes.
Because, like, I don't
Yes.
think I'm an extrovert, but other people are like, yeah, no, you are. Because I'm an introvert and you adopted me. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're kind of an extrovert to me.
I feel like I'm an introvert. I'm like, I get nervous around people, but it's like, no, that's just because you have anxiety, dummy. You need to, you actually do reach out and try to be
You're
friends with
out,
people. I'm like, I do.
you're out here. You're out here. Um, and I think that our friendships and the bonds that we have remind us of how painfully beautiful life is. Like,
Yeah.
it's so, like, if it wasn't for the friends that I've had and acquaintances and encounters that I've had with people, I would not be alive today. And so my life is an amalgamation of not just my experiences, but also the experience of people who I've interacted with. And it feels so full and so beautiful. And I want that
Hmm.
for all of us to have that, to remember that
Yeah.
we're like redwood trees, right? Like to remember that our roots only go so deep alone, but if we're with others, like our roots branch out and we stay grounded.
And like love is a renewable resource.
Mhm.
You giving it out to people is gonna multiply it, not take it away
Yeah.
from you.
Yes.
So,
Yes. It's been lovely.
it has, as usual.
Mhm.
I always love the time we spend.
Me too. So you go have pizza. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna put in my face hole. You forage. I'm gonna forage too. And then I'm gonna flirt some more.
That sounds like a plan, and I'll send you some of my work in progresses tonight because
Please
I'm
do.
feeling it on a couple of these pieces. Just
Awesome. I want to see it.
vibing.
All right, y'all. This has been Witchy Shit and Manga Lit with Carta and Rawiyah, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.